What if I told you some of the greatest inventions never saw the light of day? From revolutionary tech to breakthrough ideas, these innovations were silenced, pushed into the background for reasons far beyond science itself. Corporate greed, government intervention, and rigid scientific skepticism often played a role in burying these world-changing concepts. So today, we're diving into 5 incredible inventions that had the power to reshape our entire world, but were lost to history before they even got their chance. Let's uncover what might have been. The hemp car. In the 1940s, when the world was gripped by World War II and the industrial boom was reshaping society, Henry Ford, already a titan of innovation with his mass-produced Model T, set his sights on something far ahead of its time.
Henry Ford was a revolutionary. He changed all of 20th century America. We're living in Henry Ford's world right now.
Long before environmental sustainability became a buzzword, Ford had a bold vision for a new kind of vehicle. One made not just for efficiency, but for the environment. This wasn't your typical car. In fact, it wasn't powered by the usual gasoline. Instead, it ran on biofuel made from hemp and, even more shocking, its body was built using hemp fibers. Yes, a car made from plants. Ford's hemp car, as it came to be known, was incredibly strong too. So strong that during its unveiling in 1941, Ford proved its durability by hitting it with a sledgehammer. The car didn't even flinch. Its composite material, made from hemp and other plant fibers, was 10 times stronger than steel, but lighter and biodegradable. The future Ford envisioned wasn't just about speed, it was about sustainability. But the hemp car never made it past this initial demonstration. Despite its eco-friendly promise, the growing petroleum industry cast a long shadow, with oil quickly becoming the backbone of the global economy. Renewable resources like hemp didn't stand a chance in a world powered by gasoline. And with laws tightening around hemp due to its association with cannabis, the project was quietly shelved. Ford's dream of a greener future faded, buried beneath the rise of oil and war, leaving us wondering, what if that future had taken hold? Cold fusion. In 1989, 2 chemists, Martin Fleischmann and Stanley Pons, announced they had achieved cold fusion, a nuclear reaction at room temperature.
March the 23rd, chemists Stanley Pons and Martin Fleischmann rocked the world of science. They announced that they had achieved cold fusion in their laboratory at the University of Utah,
which could revolutionize energy production. Imagine a world with cheap, clean, limitless energy. That's the future they promised. But what followed was controversy, skepticism, and one of the most heated debates in modern science. Cold fusion, if true, would bypass the extreme heat and pressure required for traditional nuclear fusion, the process powering the sun. Fleischmann and Pons claimed they could trigger it at room temperature using heavy water and a palladium electrode. Their experiment allegedly produced excess heat, signaling a nuclear reaction, and they even reported detecting neutrons and tritium, which are typical byproducts of such reactions. The initial announcement ignited excitement worldwide. A new era of energy independence seemed possible. No more pollution, no more expensive energy, just endless, clean power. But as quickly as the excitement spread, so did the doubts. Many scientists were skeptical, noting that the results defied well-established principles of nuclear physics. Worse yet, no one could consistently replicate the results, a key factor in validating any scientific claim. As labs around the world tried, and mostly failed, to reproduce their findings, the credibility of Fleischmann and Pons crumbled. The media, initially thrilled by the promise of this discovery, soon turned critical. The rush to announce their findings before proper peer review only deepened the controversy. The scientific community grew disillusioned, funding dried up, and the careers of both men took a nosedive. Still, cold fusion hasn't disappeared entirely. Despite its fall from mainstream science, a small group of researchers remains dedicated to exploring what's now known as low-energy nuclear reactions, quietly chasing the dream that once captivated the world. Loving what you're seeing? Don't keep it to yourself. Smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring you even more incredible content. The Cloudbuster. Wilhelm Reich's obsession with harnessing orgone energy led him to a bold idea: weather control. Reich believed this mysterious energy could manipulate the atmosphere, and from this belief, he created the Cloudbuster in the 1950s. According to Reich, orgone energy filled the sky, and his device, made of hollow tubes connected to water-immersed cables, could channel this energy to disperse clouds or even produce rain. Reich claimed the Cloudbuster worked, pointing to a famous experiment on a blueberry farm in Maine. Facing a devastating drought, Reich claimed he broke it, saving the farm's crop with rainfall brought on by his device. Some were intrigued by the potential, seeing the Cloudbuster as a game-changer for droughts and weather control, but not everyone was impressed. Critics called his experiments pseudoscience, citing a lack of evidence and scientific method. Reich's work on orgone energy, including the Cloudbuster, drew the attention of the US government, particularly the FDA. Already skeptical of Reich's health claims around orgone energy, they launched an investigation into his entire body of work. By 1956, Reich was imprisoned for contempt of court after refusing to stop distributing his orgone devices. In a move that still raises eyebrows, the FDA not only banned his work, but destroyed his research and devices, casting a shadow over his legacy and raising questions about scientific freedom. The Wardenclyffe Tower. Nikola Tesla, a name forever tied to innovation and invention, once proposed an idea so revolutionary that it could have changed the course of human history: free wireless energy for everyone. He truly believed that energy could be as abundant as air, accessible to everyone, everywhere, without wires or limits. And with this vision, he set out to revolutionize the way we power the world. Tesla's plan wasn't just about transmitting power without wires. He believed energy could be pulled directly from the environment, from the sun, the atmosphere, even the ether, a mysterious substance he thought filled the universe. No more coal, no more oil, just pure, unlimited power, free for all. He imagined a network of global energy towers, each transmitting energy wirelessly to homes, cities, and factories. It would have changed everything. His grandest step toward this future was the construction of the Wardenclyffe Tower in New York. Designed to transmit both signals and power wirelessly across the globe, it was a technological marvel. Tesla believed that once Wardenclyffe was operational, the whole world would have access to limitless energy. Initially, financier J.P. Morgan saw potential in Tesla's project, funding it with $150,000. But there was a catch. Morgan was interested in wireless communication, not free energy. Once he realized Tesla's true goal, he backed out. "How do we monetize free power?" Morgan asked, knowing that traditional wired electricity could be metered and sold. For him, the idea of limitless, free energy was a financial nightmare. Without Morgan's continued support, Tesla's project fell into chaos, debts piled up, and Wardenclyffe was eventually abandoned. By 1917, the tower was dismantled, and Tesla's dream was left in ruins. Though Tesla's vision of free energy was never realized, his work changed the world in other ways. The principles behind his wireless transmission experiments laid the groundwork for future advancements in communication and energy. His ideas about renewable and sustainable energy resonate even more today, as we face the global challenge of finding cleaner, greener energy solutions. Tesla died in poverty, ridiculed by the scientific community and haunted by unfulfilled dreams. His papers were confiscated by the US government, and much of his work remains shrouded in mystery. Yet, his vision of a world where energy flows freely still inspires inventors, scientists, and dreamers alike, reminding us of the power of innovation and the courage it takes to challenge the status quo. Anti-gravity device. In the strange world of experimental physics, few names spark as much mystery and controversy as Thomas Townsend Brown. His work on anti-gravity technology, beginning in the early 20th century, has fueled endless debates and sparked imaginations. Brown was convinced he had tapped into something revolutionary, something that could forever change the way we think about physics, transportation, and even space travel. Brown's journey into anti-gravity started with his discovery of what's now called the Biefeld-Brown effect. While working with Dr. Paul Alfred Biefeld, Brown noticed that high-voltage electrical charges seemed to create a thrust in capacitors. He believed this wasn't just a simple mechanical effect, but something far deeper, an interaction between electricity and gravity itself. This led him to explore electrogravitics, the study of how electrical fields could affect gravity. At the heart of his work was what he called the gravitator. This device, built with capacitors and electrodes, created what Brown believed was anti-gravity propulsion. When high voltage was applied, the device moved in the direction of the positive electrode. To Brown, this was proof that he had found a way to manipulate gravity. In the 1950s and 60s, Brown demonstrated his devices, often using disc-shaped objects that appeared to float or move when exposed to electrical charges. His work captured the attention of the public and even the US military, who saw potential for game-changing aerospace technology. Imagine aircraft and spacecraft that could defy gravity and move in ways never before possible. But the scientific community wasn't convinced. Critics argued that what Brown was observing was just ion wind, basically electrostatic thrust that occurs when ions transfer from one electrode to another. While intriguing, this force was far too weak to support the kind of anti-gravity propulsion Brown had hoped for. After Brown's death, much of his research vanished, and rumors swirled that government agencies, like the CIA, might have seized his work. Even with all the skepticism, Brown's experiments have inspired generations of inventors and scientists who still chase the dream of breaking the boundaries of physics. What do you think? Could there be more to Brown's work than we know? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around for more mind-blowing content.